Hi, welcome back, or welcome to the Intervention channel. My name is Steve Bruno, and the subject of this video is ultimatums. This is an important subject. Certainly many family members believe that an intervention is, for all practical purposes, an ultimatum. That there is an offer of help, there is an ultimatum, or some combination of the two, and that in order to successfully get one's loved one into a program, one needs to, kick the addict to the curb, cut him off, until he's desperate for help or until he is ready. And that is, in my view, a sort of lazy viewpoint that has permeated much of society. I mean, in terms of people who have attempted to learn a bit about doing an intervention. And the reason that I say it is lazy is this. I find that it satisfies fear that the family has about actually enacting a strategy, getting their hands dirty, well, to say, look, you don't need to get your hands dirty, just kick them out. That's like the lazy man's intervention, and it satisfies their fear because then they can maybe be condescending to the addict, take a position of domination by invalidating the addict, nullifying him, by putting him down about what his behavior is doing. Of course, this satisfies built-up resentment and fear of having to get involved with getting family members together and writing letters and having a strategic intervention is all at bay, because all one has to do, having been given this advice, is to get the person out of the house, stop giving them money, and then that's it. That's all you need to do. And then go back to your armchair and watch TV. And I don't mean to make light of it, of course. It's difficult no matter how you slice it in terms of trying to help somebody who doesn't want help or says they don't want help. And it is an important distinction, by the way, while I'm on that one thing. What an addict tells you and what he believes are two different things, most of 99% of the time. What I told my mother and what I actually believed about myself while I was using were two different things. And I was definitely more honest with my dealer than I ever was with any of my family members. So keep that in mind. And by the way, watch. It's either called The Confession or How to Get, it's called, in my book, More Than Hope, it's called The Confession. In the video, I think it's called How to Get an Addict to Admit He Has a Problem, and the answer is you don't. So you can watch that video on that. But in terms of an ultimatum, there's a couple of things to keep in mind. For one thing, a well-done intervention, in my experience, is never confrontational. I never confront addicts. I've never confronted an addict in all the years I've been doing interventions. I have a 97% success rate consistently year after year. Success in terms of getting an addict into the program of choice with enough willingness to start and to be there. So, and I've never put anybody down. I've never told anybody that he is an addict. If an addict tells me, is going to the bathroom every 40 minutes, sniffling, or has track marks down his arms, holding a crack pipe in his hand and saying, look, I'm not an addict. It happens. I mean, I'm exaggerating, of course, but, it can be so obvious. And he or she will, say, look, my family thinks that I'm an addict. I'm not. I know I've had some problems, but, they're making more out of it than it really is, or they're the ones with the problem, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I don't debate. I say, that's fine. I'm not here to tell you you are an addict. Sometimes I'll say, if you're happy, if you're fulfilled, and you feel like your relationships in your life are in good order, and you're working toward things that you want to work toward things, and you're thriving, then, far be it for me to tell you you need to do anything, but et cetera, et cetera. So that's a strategic question that is not pointed toward this particular subject. too precisely, so let's get back to it. Ultimatums. Ultimatums, in my experience, in my arsenal, are really a last resort. Because ultimatums themselves alone do not sell tickets, right? If a mother yells at her son or daughter, you need to go to rehab, okay? And if you don't, you can just get out, okay? That's not a sales pitch. That is built up resentment. That is condescending. It's invalidating. You're making somebody who already feels wrong more wrong. And it's not productive. It doesn't sell tickets. So if you want to sell tickets to the big show, to the treatment center, what you want to do is to pull at the person's heartstrings. Now, we're not going to get into the use of letters. There's a video on the use of letters. We're not going to get into making the offer. There's a video on making the offer. But what I do want to get into is that during the offer, in the use of letters, what I have people do is put any sort of ultimatum as a part 2, okay, of the letters. And watch the video on letters. The letters are a way of delivering a communication, the offer, in a way that you can premeditatively put together so that it's not aggressive, it's not condescending, that it's very loving, reminding the person of who he really is and what he is and why he is missed. And to put it as a part 2, to deliver it only after an effort has been made to get the addict to agree based on reminding him of who he really is. There can be tears, there can be a heartfelt communication, a connection made, and then to lay down an ultimatum before he has a chance to agree can pull the rug right out from under what you're trying to accomplish. So let's get to the next step in part 2. This will probably be in a few parts. If you'd like to ask me a question directly or go to my website, it's stevebruno.com. My phone number, there's a contact form, it's all there. If you'd like to ask a question where everybody can see the answer, do so in the comments section. If you'd like to buy my book, there's a whole section in there on ultimatums called Ultimatums, right? When and how, I think, or why and how. Anyway, I wrote the damn thing, but anyway, it's in there. And it's called More Than Hope. It's available on Kindle and on Amazon. And it's there. I have the graphic there. You can go to my website, and there's a link there. And then at the end of this, you'll see, thank you for watching. You'll see a subscribe button, especially if you're a professional, you want to subscribe. And if you're a family member, you're certainly welcome to subscribe. There's lots of videos here and many more going up all the time. And then click the next video, which will be part 2 of Ultimatums. Thank you for visiting the Intervention channel. I'm Steve Bruno. Thanks for watching.